Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
It's a bit of a special one today. What with all this coronavirus and whatnot going round, obviously you can't go to a pub, and access to supermarkets and stuff, of course, is limited and whatnot. The brewery down the road from me, they're called Goachers. They've decided, they own a few pubs as well, quite a few pubs actually, all around Kent, and I think there's one in Sussex too. But they brew some really good beer, and what they've decided to do is to deliver the beer, which I think is a fantastic idea. And I didn't know until a mate told me the other day. So, being the weekend and all that, I decided to order some. Now I've drank some of their stuff before, but I don't think I've drunk these two that I'm going to review. So they've just turned up. And this is how they turned up, in one of these little kegs. Now they're plastic, and apparently there is 4 pints in them. That was just over a tenner. I think it was about £12 something. You can't go wrong for that sort of price. I know it's, you know, it's not out the pump, but, and this keeps for a day. So I've got 4 pints to get through in this one, and I've got some of their Imperial Stout, which I'll review as well. But this is genuine beer. I'm not sure whether they've actually pulled it from the pump or whether this has come direct from the cask. So either way, it's direct from the cask that they brewed this in. It is the Gold Star Pale Ale. Now this is 5% and it's a true Kentish Pale Ale. It's got pale Maris Otter malt, and it's got the East Kent Goldings in it as well, and it promises a lot. I haven't had it before, I don't know what to expect. I've never had beer delivered direct from the brewery. So let's stop gassing and let's start opening. Right, so that just screws off, which is handy. It's filled right to the brim as well, so let's see what's in the can. In the can, I'm so used to saying that. Let's see what's in the keg. It smells good. There's a pale ale, and immediately there's a hoppy aroma. There's a slight acidity to it as well, like a sour note, which I think is coming from the yeast. I'm getting that, but it smells really good. Let's get it in the glass. Now this is the first one I've done that has come out of a glass, out of a container like this, straight from the brewery. I'll just set that down now. Now here it is in the glass. I haven't filled it right to the top, and that is flat. There is no carbonation in that whatsoever, no head either. It looks like a cider. It's very, very slightly hazy, and on the nose, yeah, more the same. It's 5.1%, and it smells really nice. There's some spirit alcohol in that as well, very subtle, slight spirit alcohol. But them East Kent Goldings are really giving this a nice aroma. Let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. Wow, this is really weird. Sitting here reviewing this beer. It's come out of that little demijohn, or whatever you want to call it, and it's super flat because there's no carbonation, and that's really unusual for me sitting here reviewing this, a beer with no carbonation at all in it. But all bottled beer has carbonation, even if it's a very slight amount, it will have some carbonation. That has got none at all. And I've got to drink all these 4 pints by tomorrow. He reckons that the fella that's just dropped it off, he said best to drink it as fresh as possible. But it's really nice. Okay. First of all, you're getting that big hoppy flavour in your mouth. There's a slight sourness to it, and I imagine that's coming from the yeast. But it's really good, and it tastes really fresh as well. Now, this is a novelty for me because, you know, I've reviewed beers on here before, and they've all been, you know, off a supermarket shelf, or they've come through mail order in the post, or they've been brought over by a few mates from Belgium and Germany and whatnot. This is the first one that's come direct from a brewery down the road, and it's throwing me a little bit because it's so fresh. But it's really nice. I mean, it's super drinkable, dangerously drinkable. I know not everybody's going to be able to get hold of it, but if you're in Kent or in the sort of surrounding area, you may be able to get some of this delivered from the pub, or, you know, if you're even local to sort of mid-Kent, you know, Chatham, around there, they may be able to sort of get some out to you. But it's really good beer, and I do like it, and I love supporting local breweries. They don't do bottles. They're based on an industrial estate in Kent. They have had to build this brewery because they were just expanding too quickly. They were becoming so popular, and now they just brew beer for their pubs. And I think they've got it must be about 10 pubs scattered around Kent and Sussex, and, you know, sort of that sort of area. But getting back to the beer, this is really nice. It's got a nice aftertaste. They call it a pale ale, but to be honest, the sort of aroma you're getting from this is, you know, again, I know I've just gone through a phase now of reviewing beer with British hops, and it's a novelty for me because, you know, I'm so used to doing the IPAs and the West Coast and the East Coast, and even the American Pale Ale. You're used to that big citrus, and when you're sort of constantly reviewing the British hops, you realise, fucking hell, Britain does some really good hops. British hops are really underrated, and especially, you know, around Kent, where I am at the moment, it is just renowned for its hops. It always has been the best hops in Britain, I would say. And some really good malt as well comes from Kent. You know, they've had maltings around here, and but getting back to this beer, yes, this is great. I love it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 because it's going down so smoothly, and, you know, the flavours, because it's so fresh, it's a novelty for me. I'm really enjoying it. I know not everybody's going to be able to try some, and I suppose I'm just doing it for the hell of it, but if you can get hold of some of it, you know, if you're in the Kent area, then do so. It's really good. It's got nice malt flavour, superb hoppy flavours to it, but it's not the American style hops, it's the British hops, so just be wary of that if you can get hold of it. But when all this shit is over, you know, if you live near a Goachers pub, or you're out about on holiday and you see a Goachers pub, make a point of going in there, because their beer and their ale is kept superbly, and it tastes great. I've got some of their Imperial Stout in one of them demijohns as well. I will review that too, just for the hell of it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Well done, Goachers. Really impressed with that, and I think I'm going to be making short work of this stuff over the weekend. And remember, as I always say, beer is working class champagne.